support and to reconsider, come back and talking to them. And, so, and we don't have any limits on our service at all. So we can work with people as long as we need to. And it's years. We can work with people for years if we need to.
Wow. And these 10 beds are always occupied?
Yeah. Most of them are not occupied by women working in the sex industry, though. I find women, other than just a few, most of the women that we've supported all came here as migrant sex workers, knowing that they were going to do sex work, and that's what they want to do. They want to get out of the bad situation that they're in and then move on and go back to sex work. And, they're fairly independent, like move around and have their own networks and, don't necessarily need a refuge service over the long term.
So so you do give a refuge for a limited amount of time then?
No, it's not limited. It's limited by their needs. It's whatever they need, right?
So that's what you're telling me, that they don't stay long. For themselves.
Yeah. So now that's for the women who, are sex workers and want to get back to sex work. Now, we have definitely worked with women who were forced into sex work who had no idea. And we have worked with one minor as well. So to say that stuff doesn't happen, it is wrong.
This is definitely what we would also get to, because we don't want to reproduce there is no trafficking in Australia sort of discourse, because it would be very
I think for us in the Salvation Army context it's just one industry. It's just another industry amongst many industries where people are vulnerable, and we definitely support any strategies that can meaningfully demonstrate that reduces vulnerability. But we're not the best people to provide that. Now, there's part of the Salvation Army that does, they call it brothel ministry, where it's kind of like they do outreach into brothels. It's a relationship building thing. I don't consider it like an anti-trafficking strategy. Perhaps they do. Maybe I can connect you with those guys and you can talk to them. But they have this whole outreach.
This cupcake?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, which is not connected to us at all.
No. But it's part of the Salvation Army.
Yeah. So Salvation Army is huge.
Yeah. So it's not connected to the refuge.
No. So the my program, the Freedom Partnership, is training and awareness raising, capacity building in communities, victim support, engaging business, and policy advocacy. But we're not a part of that. That cupcake thing doesn't come under me.
I understand. Would it be possible to talk to somebody who is in both, also in the refuge that works?
No, probably not.
No.
The refuge staff at the moment, we've had like a whole new team come, so they wouldn't have the experience. I ran the refuge for 8 years. So I know.
Perfect. So you're the person.
And we don't have any sex workers there at the moment. So I've got it all. I worked with all the clients that we've had.
Okay. Brilliant. Well, if you ever happen to come across any person who had worked in the sex industry and would be interested, we also, I'm just thinking, don't really have contacts with, we've got a few people that were forced, and I don't think they would be keen to be a part of this. Of course, I trust your judgment. Well, I don't know. We do give a bit of money to compensate. Yeah. Let me have a think about it. The young woman who was trafficked here as a child, she's an adult now, and it might be a good story to have. Number one, to confirm that. That there are, minors that are brought here. Yeah. But also her engagement with law enforcement was extremely tricky for us, because we didn't feel that she should be, we just thought she should have protection and not be pushed into telling her story to them, because we also thought it wasn't in her best interest as a child to try to be a witness against anybody. So we had big conflict with the Red Cross and with law enforcement over her, and
Also, she was not offered any guardianship, even though she was screaming out for it, because of a technicality about 16. And she, she had a pretty significant history of abuse from where she came from. So we had a big battle over her, which was, and it was a real conflict with the Red Cross around how we do casework as well. Because they have a particular way of engaging with people that we're different, and so anyway, and this poor girl was kind of stuck in the middle.
And she's good now, yeah.
She's really
fantastic.
Good now. And she was still able to access the framework and be able to stay here. And the people that brought her here, like, she was able to give information, but she never made an official statement, because we really thought that was not a good idea for her.
So you were very successful with her. That's brilliant.
And that means that those people continue to operate out in the community doing who knows whatever. But it also means for her, unfortunately, they actually know where she works, and they regularly make themselves visible to her. So it's kind of so again, there's kind of these long-term, and even if she had testified against them, our concern was that she, as a young person, was not in a good position to be a witness. So you go through all that, right, and then the case fails. Sometimes that makes people angry, and it can escalate your nexus of harm pretty hugely, rather than just walking away from that situation and being safe and away from it. We thought for her, the best thing is to be safe and away from that situation. So anyway.
So yeah, if you should be interested, like I gave you this information because this is what we give to them, to the participants, for you to know.
Okay.
So in terms of information about the research, also they've got all the rights to withdraw from it anytime. Yeah. It's anonymous, confidential. They do not. If they decide at any point till 2020 or 19 that they don't want their story to be part, although it's anonymous, of course, they can withdraw. There is also, we are going to do, I think I mentioned, we are going to work with 2 participants per country to work on the filming of their stories. If they want. Yeah. So there is also this aspect of re-elaboration of one story.
Right.
That could happen. Like we possibly were thinking of, was this person a migrant that you were telling me about? Okay, yeah. So we were possibly thinking of doing something around in Australia or the US around Korean, because of the changes in the law there after the TIP.
Yeah. And we've had Korean clients as well, who again came here as sex workers and wound up as victims of trafficking under those offenses. I would say they migrated for sex work and then they became victims of slavery offenses.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? They weren't trafficked. They came here on their own and started working.
And then they were highly exploited
and then got
abused.
Exploited. Yeah.
Yeah, if you could put me in touch with anybody who is working with them or with them for the, maybe there is a step to be taken first.
Yeah.
If somebody else, or if you can make the contact yourself.
I think it's going to be pretty hard for us.
Yeah. I
just because we also don't maintain contact with people, and it would be really weird for them to get a call from me. But I mean, I think I'm thinking of one of our Korean clients. Actually, she got a big compensation payout that I think, it really, it just demonstrates, people need adequate compensation. And I think, she participated, her case was actually a New South Wales prosecution. So her case was a state case in terms of the criminal justice process, but she was considered a victim in the Commonwealth system.
Okay.
But she got the state compensation.
How?
And it was a life-changing amount of money. And for her, that was what helped her leave the sex industry, because that was what she wanted to do. And she was getting older too, Yeah. And I think that's a demonstration of how important.
But she got it not as trafficking victims because it was not possible. So how did she get the compensation as what?
So because it was, there were other state offenses related to her case, like sexual assault, and it was significant. Like it was a pretty extreme case where she was quite severely assaulted. So she got what I'm saying is she got, and it was 3 years taken away out of her life to go through all of the stuff that she went through.
And you supported her with a lot.
Yeah, and she got cancer, actually, during that time. We supported her through that.
Is she okay now?
I don't know. I heard from her a while ago that her cancer had come back.
No.
So, I don't know. I said to her, so she actually went back to her country, and I'd said to her, come back here, we'll help you, because she can't get the treatment that she needs over there. I said, you have the right to come back here, use it, we'll help you. But she didn't get back to me, so, yeah, so that's kind of sad, because, she was just amazing. She was one of the most amazing people I've ever met, and she was very, she broke all the stereotypes, of who sex workers are. She broke them all. And so, anyway.
So the people got prosecuted in her case as well?
Yeah. But, even for her, the guy got 8 years.
When was that?
8 years, oh gosh, it was quite a while ago, maybe 2010. Okay. In the back of her mind is always what's going to happen when he gets out. Yeah. He's going to come after me. And he knows a lot about me, and that's always the fear too. So, people got to understand that fear. Like, okay, yeah, big deal. Someone goes to jail for 5-6 years.
Nothing.
They're going to be more angry when they get out, and maybe they'll come after me. How will I ever feel safe? So for me, I've definitely supported enough people to know that just disappearing off that perpetrator's radar is probably a more, this is just going to make you, that's just a better solution. To just disappear and not have, so engaging in the criminal justice process can actually escalate the harm, or just the perception of your harm.
Yeah. And would she have got compensation had she not helped the police for the prosecution? Collaborate?
She would have been eligible to apply, yeah.
Okay.
She would have been eligible to apply.
Wow.
So yes, so again, you don't have to have gone to court
to get compensation
and have a successful prosecution in order to get the compensation. But again, it was just sort of luck that there was a corresponding state offense to, to what she had experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah, and So look, I guess what it is we've seen a range of scenarios in the sex industry that don't conform to the stereotypes.
What did you mean by saying she broke all the stereotypes?
I think I think there's a stereotype out there that, Asian sex workers are kind of helpless victims, waiting to be rescued, and that they all view them, that they all want to leave the sex industry. They're only, in the sex industry because they've been pushed into the sex industry or kidnapped into the sex industry or, So, I think she just, as a witness, too, in the court, she really, there's a lot of opportunities that the defense has to tear you down because you're a sex worker, because they can play into all those stereotypes. Mm-hmm. But in that case, she never let it, she understood the context really well. She understood that they would try to take that angle. She understood that they were going to lie. She understood they were going to make, use the stereotypes. But I also think in that case, the judge was highly protective of her, and that made a big difference. Mm. So she got lucky with the judge, because the judge stopped a lot of inappropriate behavior from the defense counsel. And that's
and
really
the defense
important.
was trying to say you wanted to be in the sex
industry.
Yeah,
they were just using all kinds of, whatever they could use, Yeah, and she just